that's better. So, disclaimer, I'm not a mental health professional. I do not diagnose. I don't know if you have schizophrenia or psychosis or any of these other disorders I'm talking about. Do not self-diagnose over one video. I'm not anti-self-diagnose, but I am anti-WebMDers, okay? So talk to a mental health professional. Call 988 if you're in a crisis. Anyways, so I made my other video talking about what schizophrenia means to me. I realized I was kind of an idiot because I never came and told you guys what schizophrenia is, what psychosis is, bipolar psychosis, MDD of psychosis. So, not a mental health professional, just someone who experienced it and who's actually done a lot of research on mental illness, especially the ones that I have. Okay, so, first to understand schizophrenia and MDD of psychosis, which is major depressive disorder of psychosis, and psychotic or bipolar psychosis, you gotta understand what psychosis is. So when you think of mental disorders, they fall under two categories. Either neurosis, which do not lose contact of reality, or psychosis that does lose contact of reality. But, so psychosis disorders like schizophrenia, psychosis not otherwise specified, schizoaffective disorder, stuff like that. So psychosis can develop from anyone at any stage of life, even though it's common in the late teens, early 20s. Early signs and symptoms from NIH, National Institute of Mental Health, and these are the warning signs. These aren't the symptoms. So these are the warning signs. So think of this as like signs it's coming on, but just because you have these doesn't mean you have psychosis. Sudden drop in grades or job performance, new trouble thinking clearly or concentrating, suspicious, paranoid ideas or uneasiness with others, withdrawing socially, spending a lot more time alone than usual, overly intense new ideas, strange feelings or no feelings at all, decline in self-care, personal hygiene, difficulty telling reality from fantasy, and confused speech or trouble concentrating. So, symptoms of psychosis are either three things. So, either delusions, which are false beliefs, so like someone might believe the government's after them or something like that. Hallucinations are alternations of one's senses. So, you, like hearing voices, that's the most common one. Or, seeing things, stuff like that. Okay, it can be a symptom of schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. It is treated by medication, individual group therapy, family support and education, and stuff like that. So now on to what schizophrenia is versus schizoaffective versus MDD psychosis or bipolar psychosis. All right, so think of it as a spectrum. Okay, so schizophrenia is just psychosis. I mean, people can have depression with schizophrenia, but if their psychosis is the main issue, then that's schizophrenia. Again, this is just me. So if it's just psychosis, it's schizophrenia. If it has to be, oh my gosh, okay, it's not just psychosis, because hold on, before I ramble on this. Okay, so the DSM is a book that professionals publish every, 10 years or so, I think. They're gonna make a 5-tier, they're on 5 right now, but, schizophrenia, okay, so schizophrenia is psychosis plus other symptoms, but it has just psychosis and not the mood disorder is what I meant. So, so you either have to have 2 or more of the following, each present for a significant during 1 month period of 1, 2, or at least one, there's 5, okay? 1, 2, or 3, one of them has to come with 1, 2, or 3, if that makes sense. So delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, those are psychosis signs. Those are the positive symptoms. Then the negative symptoms, positive, it's not good. Think of something that's added. So delusions, it's something that's added in your psyche. Hallucinations is something you're added. Negative symptoms are symptoms that are taken away. So it's something subtracted. So disorganized or catatonic behavior when we become stiff. I don't know much about catatonic, to be honest. Negative symptoms and these are think of depression symptoms without depression, if that makes sense. You don't have the mood symptoms of depression, you have the other symptoms. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how I think of it. Affective, flattening, loss of speech, loss of interest. So that's that. And then again, to be diagnosed with schizophrenia, it has to impact your life, just like any other mental disorder. So, duration, the 6 months period has to include 1 month of symptoms or less if successfully treated that are criteria A, which again are 1, 2, and 3. That positive symptoms are delusions, hallucinations, or disorganized speech. Okay, so Schizoaffective and mood disorder. So I have schizoaffective. I didn't even mention this, but I had, well, I'm doing it in the next video, but still. I have schizoaffective disorder, bipolar type. So this is where it gets kind of iffy. So schizoaffective disorder is schizophrenia and bipolar, which bipolar is mania and depression for bipolar 1, which is full-blown mania, and then bipolar 2 is hypomania, which is a lesser form of mania and depression. But don't just think because it's bipolar, that because you have bipolar 2, it's less severe. Because bipolar 2 sometimes experience more depression than bipolar 1. I have bipolar 1, I experience both. But, so bipolar, schizophrenia and psychosis, Schizoaffective disorder can be either depressive type or bipolar type. So the depressive type is just depression, bipolar is depression and mania. So schizoaffective disorders, you meet the criteria for schizophrenia and a mood disorder, where mood disorder like MDD, which is major depressive disorder with psychosis, or bipolar disorder with psychosis, that is when the psychosis is only occurring within the mood, if that makes sense. The schizoaffective disorder, you can have mood in schizoaffective, but the schizophrenia part is separate, because, the psychosis is separate. So when, you can be manic and have psychosis, but if I can't get my words out. This is a symptom, you guys. Okay, so schizophrenia in real life, can't get her words out. But let me think about this. Let me think how to explain it. So in mood disorder with psychosis, which is either bipolar depression, bipolar disorder, MDD, major depressive disorder, the psychosis is co-occurring with the mood, meaning it only occurs with the mood. With schizoaffective disorder, you can be totally fine. I can be totally fine, and I start hallucinating. That's, from what I understand, what's the difference. It's very thin line, because, mood makes it worse in both cases to me. But I have psychosis without the mood. That's why I have schizoaffective disorder. And it'd be just schizophrenia if you don't have any mood disorder. And then, again, if you don't have psychosis, it's whatever. But I hope this video helped you guys out in explaining the difference. Oh, one more thing. Psychosis and NOS. So psychosis not otherwise specified is when you have one symptom of the first three, which are psychotic symptoms, one or two, but you don't. No, you can have two. One, it's when it's like a catch-all. So, if you don't meet the criteria for schizophrenia, it's psychosis and NOS. And if you don't meet the mood disorder of psychosis or the schizoaffective disorder, it's psychosis and NOS. So, for me, and you'll see this in the next video, psychosis and NOS is when they don't have any other way to put it. It's a catch-all. That doesn't, I guess it can, but most cases, it doesn't stay psychosis and NOS forever. It becomes something else. Anyways, I hope this video helped you guys out. Again, not a mental health professional. This is not mental health advice. This is just the learning what I know and sharing it with you guys. So be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. My Linktree is Linktr.ee/islandofpsa. And thank you guys. Bye.